Hi guys, welcome to Techogenius Academy. We are de-industry-led training providers for those who wants to build their career in data science, analysis, IoT, device driver, embedded Linux and many more. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.
Hello guys, welcome to the Techogenius Academy. Today we are here to discuss the next session on Linux device driver. So till now what we have discussed in our interrupt handling concept, that how we can handle the interrupts, what are the top halves, what are the bottom halves. And basically when interrupt triggers, interrupt handler should be executed very quickly and it should not run for more time. If we have interrupt handler which is doing more tasks, then we need to divide it into two things which we have discussed. One is top house is nothing but our interrupt handler, and the bottom house we have discussed the tasklets till now. So today we will discuss about the work queues. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So today we will discuss about the work queues in like how we can write a work queue in a static method, how we can write work queues in a dynamic method, and how we can implement our own work queue. So a work queue contains a linked list of tasks which need to be done deferred time. The tasks are done in the process context. Why? Because work queue allow user to create the kernel thread and bind that work to it, which runs in the process context. Work queue can go to that sleep. How to decide between a work queue and tasklet now? So if you want to take tasklet or software queue also, so how to decide that? So if the deferred work needs to sleep, a work queue is used. Otherwise, you can use the tasklet if no, if the particular process needs to go to that sleep of any particular work. Until tasklet, a task run on a work queue may be run on a different processor than the process that should schedule it. Important note here, you can't transfer data to and from user space as there is not a real user context to access. So now we can implement work queue in three ways: static method, dynamic method, and our own work queue. The code for work queue can be found in slash user slash source slash linux slash include slash linux workqueue.h file and the workqueue.c also. The data structure describing the tasks on the queue is typedef void. The return type will be that work function structure, and the argument you need to pass this work structure. Yeah. So this work structure will have three entries: the data entry, that structure list head entry, and the function. So where function points to the function that will be run when work is done, and other arguments is just for the internal use. So basically, in a work queue, it's just if more work we need to do in a interrupt handler, then we will go to the work queue function and we will execute our work. So a work structure which we have discussed here, so a work structure can be declared and initialized at compile time with declare underscore work. The first argument is the name, where name is that name of the structure, which points to the queuing to up function to run. Okay, so this is the static method. So what we will do now, these are the different calls, so I just don't want you to mix it up. So one by one we will just do that. So we will start by the static method, and how we can initialize by using declare underscore work, and how we can schedule. So there is a call schedule underscore work. So we will pass the structure to that, and this function puts a job to the kernel global work queue if it was not already queued and leaves it in the same position on the kernel global work queue otherwise. So we will do this, and for that I need to go to the terminal. Sudo su. Okay. Yes. So now what we will do, we will just copy this skeleton, because I don't want to disturb my generic code to the corrector device driver work queue. Static dot c. Okay, I just need to write here move. Okay, I have just moved this. 1 second, I need to keep my copy also. Yeah, so this looks fine to me. Yeah. Okay, so this is our skeleton. I'll just change this. Testing work queue in the static method. So now in this what we will do first, we will just initialize the work queue. So I need to include header file also, linux slash workqueue dot h. This is basically required for work queues. So now here what I will do now, I'll just define the interrupt IRQ number. I can mention one keyboard. This is the keyboard interrupt number. And now I will create the work. I'll just initialize create a work in static method. Creating the work in static method. For that, the first parameter we need to pass as a work queue. This is the name of the Workqueue, and the function name. So we can write it as a Workqueue function. This looks fine to me. So I need to create the function also. Void Workqueue function, and the parameter we need to pass as a Workqueue structure. So this looks fine to me. So now what we will do in the init function, we will just request the interrupt. We have mentioned the IRQ as, okay, so I can just mention IRQ number, so that will be more understandable. Yeah, so you will not get confused. This will be your IRQ handler. You can share the interrupt on interrupt line. The name and the dev underscore t last argument. So if you don't know about this call, please refer to my earlier video, so you can have the better idea that why I have written this IRQ handler function, the last parameter. So what is the use for that? Unable to register IRQ or interrupt. Go to IRQ. This looks good, and I'll just mention here I'll just free the IRQ number and my function. So the same thing, we need to pass it here also in the exit module. So this looks fine to me now. So what we will do now, we will just write the handler. Okay, and I was just checking. So here I'm just writing my handler function. So this is the same thing I'm writing. This I have explained you earlier. We need to pass the structure here. Okay. So I just need to check the request IRQ. 1 second. So static IRQ return underscore T. Yep, this is the return type. Yep. So the IRQ handler is the name I have mentioned. Yes, it's correct. And first will be the IRQ, and second parameter will be my dev underscore ID. Con info interrupt occurred, and now we are scheduling the work which will go to that workqueue function. We need to pass here. Okay, so we need to pass here workqueue. Okay, and we will just return IRQ handled. Yeah, so this looks fine to me. I'll just write the definition for this workqueue function. Con info in my workqueue function. So whenever I'll press some key, it, my interrupt handler will execute my IRQ handler, and from there my workqueue function will go. So it will schedule my workqueue function, and I can see the print that it will go to my, it is going to my workqueue function. Okay, so now right now I'm just mentioning the print, but in the real world scenario, so when we are doing this work queue, when we are using this work queue in our project and all, so in this call, in this function, we were doing much work which will not be handled by this IRQ handler, because this is not preferred, because it is taking more time. Then we will go to the this workqueue function. Okay, so this all these things looks fine to me. Now I'll just change the make file. chr drv workqueue static dot o. Yeah, so everything looks fine to me. So now I'll just clear the logs, and now I'll just insert the driver, and I'll just print the message. Yeah, just check, interrupt is occurred, and this is my in my workqueue function. And you can do also slash dev chr. Yeah, this is our device like which we were creating. So now if I'll do the message, so check, it is, just check, it is reading the function also. Okay, so interrupt occurred and it is going to my workqueue function. So I can just remove this. Make clean. Yeah. So in this way you can write the workqueue, you can execute the workqueue function in static method. So now how we can create the work by dynamic method. For that we need to use init work, and we need to pass the workqueue structure and that function. So we will do the same. When the interrupt occurs, we will just schedule the work, and because it will go to that interrupt handler. And the init work macro, this is a macro which initialize the list head entry linked list pointer. Okay, so what we will do now, uh, I'll just copy this to dynamic. Yeah, this looks fine to me. So now in this code, I was just checking this declare work. Okay, so now this is the method of static one. So I'll just remove this. This is the creating the work in static method. Rest all will be same. Yeah, creating the work in dynamic method. Init underscore work, address of work queue, and the work queue function. So in this way you can create the work in a dynamic method, so by using this macro. So everything looks fine to me. can mention allocating work, or we are scheduling the work to queue. So this looks fine to me. So what I will do, I'll just change the make file. Make, okay, okay, there is some issue. Oh, I missed this. Okay, 1 second. I just missed writing the work queue structure here. So whatever I passed the work queue structure, our own work queue structure, this we need to declare it here. We can use static struct work underscore struct work queue. Yeah, so this is fine. Yeah, so now I will just clear the logs. Inserting the module, create message. See, so now we have successfully inserted the character driver, and after that, whenever I press the key, the interrupt is occurred and it executes the work queue function. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So how we can do the interrupt handling, this bottom half work queues in the dynamic method. See, make clean. So we have understood pretty good like how we can write and how we can execute the work queue in a static method, how we can do the work, how we can create the work in a dynamic method. So now we will do that how we can create and how we can uh, destroy the work queue structure, of how we can create our own work queue. Okay, so we can create the work queue by using this create underscore work queue. We need to pass the name of on that, and for destroying it we need to use destroy underscore work queue. So if we need to add task to that work queue, we have to use queue underscore work. So in static or dynamic method, so whenever the interrupt is occurred, so what we were doing, we were going to that IRQ handler, and after that we were just scheduling the work, right? But now, as we know that we are creating our own work queue, then whenever the interrupt occur, it will go to that IRQ handler, but there we will need to allocate the work by using this queue underscore work. Okay, so this will add the task to that work queue, and then where in this where work queue structure describe the work queue itself only. Okay, so what we will do now, uh, I'll just copy anyone to own work queue. Yeah, So now here there is no need of this static method. We are creating our own. Yes. How we can do it here? We will use static declare work. First we need to pass the work here and the Workqueue function. I need to create the structure for our own Workqueue. We can use static here. This will be the Workqueue structure. Our own Workqueue. This looks fine to me. Okay. So now creating the Workqueue, the own Workqueue. This is the structure. This is the Workqueue structure. We are creating the Workqueue. I just need to check like how many parameters. Okay, create Workqueue name. Okay, name we need to mention here own Workqueue. So we are creating the Workqueue and then we need to destroy it also. Destroy the Workqueue on Workqueue. I just need to check destroy. Yeah, work structure. Okay. Uh, yeah, this looks good. And now here I was just scheduling the work. Here I need to use the queue underscore work. So this is the Workqueue structure and this other one is the work structure. Okay. And so we can use here queue work, our own Workqueue, and the structure. Okay, address of work. And we can say return 0 from here. Yeah. So you can mention static. So this looks good to me. Now we are allocating queue to allocating work to queue. Allocating work to queue. This is the very clean implementation. So I'll just change the make file. Okay, there is some error. One second. Okay, there are so many errors are coming. Right. Yeah, so this looks fine to me now. It's I have generated the KO. I'm just clearing the some logs, and now I'll just insert my driver. Yeah. So many congratulations. So you have seen this interrupt is occurring and it is going to in my Workqueue function. So in this way you can write your own Workqueue. So yes, everything is neat and clean. I'll just remove the module, check the logs, remove the character driver and cleaning it. So in this way we can create like whatever we have done till now. We have created the work queue in a static method, we have created the work queue in a dynamic method, we have created our own work queue. Guys, these all implementation is the basic one. So how we can use these macros, how we can use this call to create our work queue. So your task is to use these calls and try to write more on Workqueue. There are so many methods, there are so many things you can add to it. So I have mentioned that we can go to sleep. Just check, just write some code where your particular process or your particular thing needs to go to that sleep. So do some multitasking where you can use this interrupt handling concept, where you can use this bottom half and all, and then only you can learn this interrupt handling and this bottom half concept in depth. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll touch base again very soon. Thank you so much.